I want to quit my job. An unemployed husband told me not to quit and then got angry because I asked him to look for work. So there's a world out there who will help this girl if she wants it, and she doesn't. So I think we can spend a few minutes in a single place on the internet to look at it from a man's self-interest. And I'm going to blow your mind later on. My husband's 39 and has been out of work for 5 to 6 years and has only worked a couple of casual jobs, the longest one lasting a couple months about 2 years ago. Every now and then he does some housework, but a majority of the time he sits in the lounge room and plays video games or watches TV. Since he lost his job, I, 34, have been the breadwinner. I've tried my darndest to keep us afloat, and after so many years of no real financial support from him until he received a payment this year, I feel like I've been starting to burn out. I hate my current job to the point where I've thought about driving myself into a tree on the way to work nearly every shift, and I feel like I'm going to snap any day now. I wrote up a resignation letter after my shift today, and I'm contemplating handing it to my boss on the last shift this week. I brought this up with my husband, and he said, "You better not hand in that letter." I asked him why, and told him I'm almost ready to have a mental snap at work and that I really hate this job. He told me that I need to have a job lined up before I quit. I said that maybe he needed to start looking for a job as well. Then he got angry at me and told me I didn't care about his dreams at all. His current dream is to write music and basically be a one-man band and post his works on YouTube. I scolded him, saying he's had years to work on his dreams and I'm sick of all of it. I could feel myself becoming quickly enraged as the conversation heated up, so I walked away to cool off. I know that he will now stonewall me for a day or two because this isn't the first time I asked him to look for work, and he did the same thing to me last time. I do feel like my husband and I need to go to a marriage counselor, but he believes that counseling or psychology is a waste of time or money. I know he would refuse to seek any outside help at all as he's stubborn with his beliefs. I feel mentally exhausted and I'm so over everything. I feel like I'm between a rock and a hard place and I just don't know what to do anymore. I don't want to go to my family or friends about this because I feel ashamed of letting things get this bad. It's easier for me to get advice from people here. Any advice or thoughts would be greatly appreciated. So a lot of people are looking at this like a set of values. Now, it doesn't matter if you're an urban feminist working for a newspaper, the Orange Man Bad Times. I don't care if you're a conservative mom who loves shotguns. Every woman has an instinctive need for her man to be better than her. It's Briffault's law. The woman decides the conditions for the animal relationship, and where there is no value, there is no relationship. Now, for most people, I know you're looking at this and you're thinking to yourself that she should leave him, he's useless and he's a bum, but she hasn't. So there is value here. Now, maybe he's a hot gigolo, maybe there's no single guys in her city and this is the best she can do. Maybe she's so ego invested in her good judgment that she refuses to move on to greener pastures. Maybe she's super comfortable in that caloric way that women get and then she has zero other options. Who knows? And if you're the guy watching this who wants to learn something, who cares? So there's a world out there who will help this girl if she wants it, and she doesn't. So I think we can spend a few minutes in a single place on the internet to look at it from a man's self-interest. And I'm going to blow your mind later on with this. We're going to show you why the relationship advice you hear is absolute garbage and how simple, red-pilled concepts can work wonders on relationships. Having said all that, here's a few things to consider. 6 years of unemployment and she hasn't left. Is this really to be taken at face value for this post, or is it just a vent? You better not hand in that letter. Now, of all the things I know about women, the one thing I can say, from Madonna to whore, from thought to tot, from child to grandma, girls hate the word no. They hate it with the fire of 1,000 suns. They hate it more than anything ever constructed by man, nature, or beast. And this is the crux of it, and this is the part that everybody missed. This isn't a woman throwing out her life story and asking what to do. This is a woman who's had a hard couple weeks at work, who was begging for comfort, and instead was told no. She's established she's not the type of girl to leave for being a plow horse. She's established that she's the lioness. She'll hunt the water buffalo, and he's there in case some tigers and shit decide to take her territory. And putting aside whatever you or I may feel about a guy who's decided to be unemployed and have his wife take care of him for 5-6 years, know that guys bring two things into a relationship: the tingle of dopamine and the comfort of serotonin and oxytocin. She literally doesn't need a man to pay the bills. She's been doing it for years. Him getting a job isn't what would save this relationship. And by save, I don't mean save in the traditional way, because I think it needs tweaking. So I'm aware this guy sounds like he needs a vision in his life, half-assed his goals. Like, I get it, and we could work on that. That's a separate issue though for now. Separate topic, separate video. Right now, I'm discussing the relationship strategies on this specific situation with dynamics in play as they are. I'm making the assumption that he makes her tingle since, according to her, he doesn't offer anything comfortable. And again, Briffault's law. The woman decides conditions of the relationship, and when there's no value for her, there's no relationship. If he's not giving him any comfort, at least in this situation, chances are, dopamine-wise, he's doing well. You can take for that whatever values you want. And here's the problem. His lifestyle hasn't bothered her too much before. She's had a couple fights about it. He handles it very badly, and then she goes back to everything normal. Again, more frustrated, less comfortable than before. And this will be what ends up breaking up the relationship over time if it happens. But in this case, it didn't bother her until a particularly hard week at work, and then her threatening to leave when she got home. So for those of you who have some experience in relationships, you'll know that girls love to talk. You'll also know that they love to not take action. So when somebody's girl comes at you with a brutal feeling from a brutal time at work, she's not asking you whether she should leave or not. She's asking for comfort. She's asking for her feelings to be validated. She's asking for somebody to tell her that her feelings are real and they're right. Address the feelings, not the conversation, because girls are driven by how the world makes them feel. And if you doubt it, ask yourself why this is the event that caused her to see no more value in the relationship. 6 years and he hasn't brought home the bacon except for a couple times, yet her boss pisses her off and now it's divorce time? Ask yourself how this is any different than your girl coming home and complaining about her mother or her boss or her coworker who don't know what they're doing, or any number of complaints that your girl gives you throughout the day. So if you learn nothing else from this video, and I'm assuming you will, but if you don't, learn this. You are not your job. You are not your khakis. You're the all singing, all dancing. Anyways, seriously, fix her feelings, don't fix the situation. That matters more than your job. It matters more than how good of a man you are. It matters more than anything, really. If a girl feels dopamine already, and if you're good in bed, you have pre-selection, look good, act aloof, she's got a roof over her head, food on the table, all those attractive triggers in place, well, the only part you're missing then is occasional comfort. So we don't need it when we're doing one-night stands or having a friend with benefits that comes over once a week. But once you've made the plunge into some sort of more stable relationship, it's that little bit of spice that turns this dish from a train wreck relationship where your woman vents online about her horrible job and how much of a piece of shit you are into one of the bright, wonderful centers in that shitstorm of negativity that she has to deal with. And if you're going to get a YouTube channel going, put out some damn videos, son. So on that note, that's the end of another Red Pilled Coffee episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it so far. I mean, you guys know the spiel. Fuck Files, still in Amazon bookstores. Hopefully, by the time this video gets out, the audiobook shall have been released. We're just waiting for approval from Amazon right now. Patreon's doing absolutely well. I want to give a huge shout out. 263 guys in there right now, making sure that this channel can keep coming out with content as fast and as often and as quality driven as possible. But on that note, I will catch you guys on the next one. Cheers. Now, I know the comments are going to be filled with a ton of stuff thinking the only issue here is dude should get a job and this whole thing will go away, and they're kind of missing the point. This person isn't talking to me. They're not here to get advice. We're not here to fix this relationship. This is a girl coming with complaints. I'm not really here to solve girls' relationship problems. I'm here to fix the guy, not to fix the relationship. Now, obviously, yes, I get it. He's a lazy bag of hammers. He's got no vision. He doesn't really do anything other than lay the pipe, which it seems to be working out well for him, and she's putting up with it, which is great. But if you're going to put on a YouTube channel, like come out with some videos. If you're going to be in a band, start playing instruments. But again, that's not your problem in this one. And the reason I picked this video and this comment to go on here is because this is a great example of comfort tests that you just don't see. Because guys always assume a comfort test is a girl crying to them about how asking if he's cheating on her or something like that. And that's not the case. Girls can want comfort for all kinds of reasons. And in this case, you can tell the reason she wanted comfort is because she was having a particularly brutal time at work to the point where she's thinking of snapping. Again, she wants comfort from that. My girl's done that on occasion. Everybody's girls have done that on occasion. And in this case, like I said, he's got the gigolo thing down pat. Good for him. Everybody seems to be content with that. But instead of getting mad when a girl comes at you with this, just come at her with some comfort. A big fatherly hug, a nice kiss on the forehead, you know, some kind of what you would think of as like beta activities here work wonders. And they help build up the oxytocin, they help build up the serotonin. A lot of guys talk about pair bonding hormones, and those are the ones that hook people on each other. Those are the hormones that allow men and women to bond with each other over time. And you constantly have to reiterate those over time to keep things going strong. So, looking at this from your own perspective, you're understanding that, oh, okay, so it's not so much about the little hardships of life. Those happen regardless. But the comfort building behaviors on the back end, when things get a little tough, and the dopamine provided, or what you call them as alpha behaviors at the beginning, to keep a relationship worth having comfort for, are really what you need as a long-term strategy. And while this is an extreme example, it lets you know. Having said that, how do you have a YouTube channel for 5-6 years and not have any videos out? I don't know. Can't be bothered. Anyways, this is a great video. Hope you learned it. It's about comfort tests. Again, go back on it, take a look. If you want to see more on this, I have a book review I've had. It's on a playlist in my channel here called The Sidebar. You're going to see When I Say No, I Feel Guilty and Married Man's Sex Life Primer. Between those two, they go over all the intricacies of comfort testing, why you want to do them in a relationship, and what their ultimate value is. So, tons of content in there, but I will catch you guys on the next one. Have fun. Cheers.